Good evening and thank you for joining us. The government holds the second large-scale drill at the new Huanggang Port building, covering various exercises including anti-terrorism drills, while also testing the overall system. Meanwhile, authorities launched a new website detailing the layout of the facilities as well as information on cross-border crossing procedures. Alina Wang has more.
The government again mobilizes civil servants to take part in the drill at the new port building. Compared with the first exercise, the number of civil servants involved this time increases to 5,000. The second drill includes interdepartmental counter-terrorism and major incident exercises, and also stresses the transport system to test the overall management of pedestrian and vehicular flows, so as to strengthen various departments' ability to respond to emergencies. The Security Bureau launches a dedicated page about the new port building, providing information on the location, border crossing procedures, and also reviews the layout of the public transport interchange on L2. Meanwhile, the Customs also releases a tutorial for drivers bringing their vehicles across the border. Since the new Huanggang Port building is located in Futian District, Shenzhen, the Security Bureau reminds travelers to turn off data roaming before crossing the border to avoid extra charges. The government provides free Wi-Fi, which requires no registration or password to use. Alina Wang, TVB News.
Following a recent slew of hacking incidents at both public and private institutions, the Office of the Privacy Commissioner for Personal Data underscores the responsibility of these bodies to monitor and prevent data leaks, even when they contracted out some of the data protection work to third parties. From Baptist University to Yasukuni Garden City Club, data breach and ransomware incidents have compromised more than 10,000 users' personal information or credentials. Privacy Commissioner Ada Chung says some organizations involved in data leaks have overlooked the potential risks and mistakenly believe that hiring contractors to handle IT security is enough.
However, the responsibility still lies with the data user. That means that the company or the organization itself still has primary responsibility to safeguard the personal data in their possession.
The privacy watchdog has launched services to help organizations check websites for excessive personal data storage and system loopholes. Applications are open to all schools, SMEs, and non-profit bodies. Meanwhile, the privacy watchdog has received nearly 3,000 complaints in the first half of the year, marking a jump of 62% year-on-year, with close to 30% of them IT system related. Chung says the hike is likely because of a rise in public awareness. Meanwhile, doxing has been criminalized for 5 years. As relevant complaints have plunged by 60%, the Privacy Commissioner believes the doxing situation has been kept in check. As Japanese Emperor Naruhito made an earnest appeal for peace during a ceremony on the 81st anniversary of Japan's unconditional surrender in the Second World War. The country's defense minister Shinjiro Koizumi and other cabinet members prayed at the notorious Yasukuni shrine, while Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi made monetary offering. In response, Beijing has launched protests to deplore Tokyo's negative moves and urge it to do serious soul-searching on this history of aggression. Danny Zhou has the story.
Shinjiro Koizumi became the first sitting defense minister of Japan, confirmed to have visited the controversial Shinto shrine on the anniversary since Minoru Kihara, the incumbent chief cabinet secretary who went there on August the 15th, 2024. Other officials, including Secretary General of the ruling right-wing Liberal Democratic Party, Shimichi Suzuki, was greeted by LDP's chairperson at the entrance. Japan's Minister of State for Okinawa and Northern Territories Affairs, Hitoshi Kikawada, told reporters he came to offer his deepest condolences to the fallen soldiers who fought for the country. Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi, who has regularly made annual shrine visits before she assumed the premiership, did not show up in the shrine on the occasion, but instead made a monetary offering. She addressed a memorial ceremony held in Tokyo on the same day, with 4,170 attendees, including the royal family and bereaved relatives, remembering about 3.1 million victims in the war. Takaichi said in a speech they shall not forget the peace and prosperity Japan enjoys today are built on the ultimate sacrifices of those who lost their precious lives and a history of hardships. Japan's Emperor Naruhito also made an appeal for peace and stressed in retrospect of the long period of post-war peace while reflecting on their past and bearing in mind the feelings of deep remorse. He earnestly hoped that the ravages of the war will never again be repeated. In Beijing, the foreign ministry pushes back against the shrine visits and Takaichi's monetary offering and underscores that Yasukuni Shrine stands as a spiritual tool and symbol of Japanese militarism, as it honors 14 convicted Class A war criminals responsible for the war of aggression. This year marks the 80th anniversary of the opening of the Tokyo trials. A spokesperson for the ministry points out, no pretext whatsoever can hide the Japanese politicians' true intention, which is to change the verdict on the war criminals, cover up Japan's war atrocities, distort the historical facts, and pave the way for accelerating remilitarization. China urges Japan to make a clean break with militarism and earn trust from its Asian neighbors and the rest of the world with concrete actions, the spokesman adds. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
South Korean President Lee Jae-myung proposes that two Koreas begin a dialogue to end the long-running war and find practical ways to halt the advancement of North Korea's nuclear program. Lee's comments come during a speech at a ceremony marking the 81st Liberation Day from the Japanese occupation in 1945. Meanwhile, North Korea's state media shows leader Kim Jong-un accompanied by his wife Ri Sol-ju and daughter Kim Ju-ae paying their respects at the Liberation Tower in Pyongyang. Earlier, they were joined by senior leaders at the Revolutionary Martyrs Cemetery on Mount Taesong on the outskirts of Pyongyang, where Kim laid a wreath before they all bowed to the monument to the anti-Japanese martyrs, and Kim saluted a military honor guard. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi gives a speech marking the nation's 80th Independence Day, highlighting the role youths play in the country's future, while announcing aims to become a developed nation by 2047. He says it is important to connect the youth with mainstream efforts to transform India into a developed nation, and they will be the greatest beneficiaries. He goes on to announce an AI skilling program designed to benefit 10 million young people aimed at equipping the nation to lead the world of AI. A powerful magnitude 7.7 earthquake kills at least 38 people and injures 6 off the coast of eastern Indonesia, with rescue efforts continuing as authorities scramble to free 2 individuals still trapped under rubble. Numerous aftershocks have been recorded while authorities lifted a tsunami warning after the initial tremors. Alina Wang reports.
A magnitude 7.7 earthquake struck off the coast of Indonesia early Saturday. Witnesses report collapsed buildings, including structures at a port terminal in Momir. The partial collapse of the structures were caught on camera, with the footage also showing locals running away in fear. Rescuers searched through buildings, and residents sort through rubble of damaged homes. Authorities issued a tsunami warning but later lifted it when monitoring showed no significant sea level changes that would pose a threat to coastal communities. Tsunami waves of less than 1 meter were recorded in several areas. The U.S. Geological Survey said the quake hit Indonesia's Flores region with a depth of 10 kilometers. Its epicenter was 68 kilometers north-northwest of the city of Ende in East Nusa Tenggara province. The initial quake was followed by several aftershocks. The National Disaster Mitigation Agency BNPB said it was still gathering data. Alina Wang, TVB News.
A suspected gas leak at a ship rigging yard in southeastern Bangladesh kills at least 8 people. Police say the initial death toll was 6, but 2 others died after being transported from the scene Friday. There are several others injured. Government factory inspection officials says the workers died due to toxic gas emissions from the ship. Bangladesh's financial minister met with families of the victims. He says the army's explosive disposal team had arrived at the scene, but the gas exposure had become a difficult situation to manage. Welcome back. U.S. President Donald Trump is downplaying concerns over the mental health of those on board the long-deployed USS Abraham Lincoln that's been in commission for about 260 days since the start of the Iran war. In the latest report, the New York Times cites extensive damage to a U.S. naval base in Bahrain, which is a key logistics hub, as a reason for the aircraft carrier's extended deployment. The Pacific-based USS George Washington has begun heading towards the Middle East as replacement. Tracy Furness has more.
The U.S. Navy's nuclear-powered aircraft carrier USS George Washington, based in Japan, is heading to the Middle East to replace and relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln after its extended deployment of up to 260 days, with reportedly very few port calls. The USS George Washington left port in Da Nang, Vietnam last week, a Navy statement said. The carrier, along with a cruiser and a destroyer, has since been spotted crossing the Singapore Strait, then the Strait of Malacca, heading into the Indian Ocean. Extended deployments of carriers during the Iran conflict have raised concerns about the impact on service members who are away from home for long periods, as well as the increasing strain on the ship and its equipment. Supply issues emerged after Iranian missiles and attack drones fell on a U.S. Navy base in Bahrain. Several Democratic lawmakers are pressing for accountability from the Pentagon over conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, which Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth on Thursday said were completely misrepresented. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump downplayed concerns about the USS Abraham Lincoln's extended deployment in the Middle East. Trump referred to the extended deployment as not long enough.
Family members of U.S. service members are concerned about the conditions on board the USS Lincoln.
Well, no, that ship is moving. No, they're not. That ship is moving right now, or very shortly, and it's being replaced with another very similar ship.
Has the deployment gone on too long?
No. Not nearly long enough. Thank you, everybody.
Tracy Furness, TVB News.
A passenger train derails near London, marking the second incident of its kind in 2 days. Officers, paramedics and firefighters were at the scene near Wickford train station in Essex, about 30 miles east of London, after receiving reports the rear carriages of a train derailed. The carriages were in an upright position and no injuries were reported. The incident comes less than 24 hours after a train went off the tracks outside the southern English town of Lewes. 3 carriages overturned, seriously injuring 2 people and causing minor injuries for 18 others. The cause of the derailment is under investigation. Back locally, the Auxiliary Police Headquarters hosts a passing out ceremony for a new batch of graduates. Many newly minted officers hail from professional sectors. A total of 204 new auxiliary police officers attended their passing out parade at the Auxiliary Police Headquarters in Kowloon Bay. Secretary for Security Chris Tang was the reviewing officer. Among the graduates is 33-year-old practicing barrister Michelle.
Having the law background, I think it would assist me in both occupations because somehow it would help me to have more communication skills to different levels of people in the community.
Auxiliary police officers are responsible for crowd management and also assist in handling emergency cases. Another graduate, Jason, is a government statistician and the recipient of the Silver Whistle Award. In his regular job, he uses big data to help government departments formulate policies and make decisions.
I learned a lot from them. For example, like how to correctly use weapons to help civilians who are in danger, how to use gun in a proper way. Stuff like that I could never imagine myself learning before. Also, I made a lot of friendships here.
Auxiliary police officers must complete 370 hours of training in firearms, tactics, law, and police practices. And once they officially become an auxiliary police officer, their starting pay is $115 per hour. The Hong Kong Auxiliary Police Force boasts more than 110 years of history. Apart from lawyers and civil servants, teachers and financial services-related workers are among those who joined the auxiliary ranks this year. Pests that could lead to tree deaths flare up again in parts of the Western District. The caterpillars of Fauda flamans moths, a type of day-flying bright red and black moth species, can feed on trees in the ficus genus voraciously, especially Chinese banyans or mountain fig. Severe outbreaks could strip tree canopies bare, and repeated defoliation could lead to tree death. They could be seen at Blake Garden in Sheung Wan and King George V Memorial Park in Sai Ying Pun. The pest problem has spread to areas including Cairo Garden, and if there are no torrential rain or gusts to sweep the bugs off, the moths could breed exponentially and spread to Central and Admiralty. Hong Kong-born giant panda twins Jia and Dede celebrate their second birthday at Ocean Park as droves of visitors joined in on the festivities. Andy Ziaoden has more.
The giant panda twins Jia and Dede are celebrating their second birthday at the Ocean Park. They're still living with their mother currently, but might soon be fending for themselves as they gear for a move.
Pandas are solitary animals. They're usually separated when they're around 2 to 3 years old when raised by humans.
Ocean Park collaborates with the Scout Association of Hong Kong to involve 400 youngsters in the celebration and to teach them to be more ecologically conscious.
One of our prime targets to educate them so that they would grow with nature and to appreciate all the species in the earth.
The giant pandas have contributed a lot to the tourism of Hong Kong, attracting visitors to line up to see them. The Panda Zone began welcoming visitors at 10 a.m., but some showed up as much as an hour early, braving the rain to celebrate the twins' birthday. There are some returning fans of the pandas too.
I joined their first year birthday party last year. It is a very joyful moment for Hong Kong people.
We've been coming in almost weekly. So my suitcase is actually a camera setup, so there's multiple longer lenses and shorter lenses just to take photos of the pandas inside. Well, I find them very cute. I mean, they're 2 years old now, but their actions and behavior still acts like a baby.
During the Cubs' birthday month, authorities will also roll out panda-themed buses and trams, along with exhibitions so the public can join the celebration and share the joy. And this Southern TVB News.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching.